41, then turn left onto Sheridan Road. Turn left onto Bessenger Street.
The U.S. Army Field Artillery Museum at Fort Sill, Oklahoma offers a comprehensive look at the evolution of American artillery from 1775 to the present. Opened in 2009, the museum features over 70 artillery pieces and numerous artifacts, including uniforms, ammunition, and small arms. Its exhibits are organized into 3 galleries: the South Gallery, which encompasses 1700s to 1900s, the North Gallery, World War I to present, and the Central Gallery, which focuses on the core components of artillery operations such as guns, rockets, forward observation, and fire direction control. Beyond its public display, the museum serves as a training resource for new artillery soldiers, educating them on the branch's history and heritage. It is free and open to the public from Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5 p.m. Donations are appreciated. Visitors without a Department of Defense ID can obtain a pass at the Fort Sill Visitors Welcome Center, or you can apply online, and I'll put that information in the description box.
All kinds of military history and weaponry. Pilot is giving a thumbs up. Everything must be okay. For a person like me who believes in ghosts and spirits and the paranormal, you can definitely feel the energy is different in this museum. With all this historical equipment and uniforms, it's very heavy, high energy.
Air conditioning didn't work either. What air conditioning?
Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan, 2001 to 2021. I really do feel the heebie-jeebies. That's my official term for spirits are present. The heebie-jeebies. Look at the MRE, meal ready to eat. Menu 16, chicken burrito bowl. Would you eat that? Or have you ate that?
They have to have me because I have to find my way to you. If you give me your coordinates, I have to find you. So, like, you know, the Pavlov, the medic Pavlov. So I mean,
Fort Sill serves as the home of the U.S. Army Field Artillery School, air defense artillery units, and basic combat training for new recruits. It also hosts joint training for the Army, Marines, and allied nations.
Artillery adds dignity to what would otherwise be an ugly brawl. Frederick the Great, King of Prussia. With artillery, war is made. Leave the artillerymen alone, they are an obstinate lot. The best generals are those who have served in the artillery. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Fun fact, Fort Sill is the only active Army installation that still hosts a working artillery cannon salute battery, complete with soldiers in 19th century uniforms who fire cannons for ceremonies and visiting dignitaries. It's like stepping back in time, but way louder.
14 to 15 men. Each of them were numbered. The first 6 placed and displaced the gun. When prepared for action, there stood 3 on either side of the carriage opposite the wheels. Number 7 stood at the right of the muzzle with the sponge and rammer to push home the shot and sponge out the bore between shots. Number 8 stood at the opposite side of the muzzle and actually placed the ammunition in the bore. Number 9 stood at the right of the breech and thumbed the vent, while number 7 sponged and ran. Number 10 on the left of the breech held the lighted port fire and actually fired the gun by reaching over and applying the lighted end of the flaming compound to the primer in the vent.
Too much praise cannot be bestowed on those who are managed by artillery. General Andrew Jackson after the Battle of New Orleans.
When the wire is pulled, friction becomes the binding power.
Confederate Foot Artillery Sword, 1861. Light Artillery Officer's Saber, circa 1862. Ooh, I kind of like this hat. Pattern 1858 hat, circa 1862. Decorated with an ostrich feather, this hat, its original form was hot and uncomfortable in field use. This cap has enlisted stamped brass insignia with officers' black and gold cords. This probably indicates an officer who either could not afford the officer's gold bullion insignia or did not care for the additional expense. I still like it. How neat, they have a picture of Fort Morgan. I've been to Fort Morgan before. And this one is from Savannah, Georgia, Fort Pulaski. A funeral of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on Pennsylvania Avenue, April 14th, 1945. And Caisson bearing the casket of the unknown soldier in front of the U.S. Capitol, November 11th, 1921. I'm guessing this is what carried the coffins. Funeral Limber and Caisson, circa 1890. This caisson was used for the United States Military Academy at West Point for many decades to carry many fallen soldiers and veterans. In April 1945, it carried the casket of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to his burial at his home in Hyde Park, New York. After 5 decades of use at the Military Academy, the funeral limber and caisson came to the museum in 1958. It's pretty cool. Army Mule, 1933-1978. Wind River, known as Windy, was born in 1933 and was purchased by the Army in 1937. She served with the 35th Quartermaster Pack Troop in the China, Burma, India theater during World War II. And now she lives in the museum. How big is Fort Sill? 145 square miles, 93,829 acres. This place really does go on forever. So much history. I believe they're having a graduation at Fort Sill. That's why there's so many families here this week. I'm on a Thursday. This is a Thursday. So lots of families with their soldiers. I appreciate their service. Adventure in action. Enlist in the Field Artillery, U.S. Army. Nearest recruiting office. Recruiting poster from 1918. It obviously worked. These guys signed up. The power of advertising. Did you enlist after seeing the sign, sir? You did? Thank you for your service. Slowpoke. I bet it wasn't slow as you thought. It is free of charge to come to the museum. Is this fighting armored vehicle a tank? Let's find out. No, although it may look like a tank and it has the exact same chassis as the M5 Stuart light tank, this is a self-propelled howitzer. So what is the difference between a tank and a self-propelled artillery piece? A tank is designed to be heavily armored, agile with a powerful high-velocity gun. The primary purpose of a tank is to kill enemy tanks by direct fire at ranges up to 3,500 meters. Modern-day tanks are built to shoot on the move, even over rugged terrain. A self-propelled artillery piece is an artillery howitzer or gun mounted on a tracked carrier to improve its mobility and reduce the amount of time from stopping to firing. Very cool. Artillerymen believe the world consists of 2 types of people: other artillerymen and targets, and that is by unknown. Ramp to see priest crew, and that's in quotes. I'm not really sure what that is. But we'll come up here. Oh, I guess we just get a better look at this. Hard to see with the lighting of the plane. Everybody had an important job. I just want to take a moment and appreciate if you have served in the military. I want to thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Let me know in the comments what branch you served in. Okay, this is what I was hearing. This is what I was hearing. The ENAC units on display are among the few units still in existence. More than 50% of the original configuration has been destroyed. Electronic Numeric Integrator and Computer, ENAC. The world's first all-electronic digital computer. On February 4th, 1946, the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, ENAC, launched the world into the modern computer age. Honest John rocket warhead is filled with 4,800 M40 grenades. When the rocket is over its target, the warhead skin is blasted off by a primer cord network. This action releases the grenades into the airstream. Each grenade spins to an arm, its fuse, while at the same time achieving sufficient lift to provide dispersion over 1.7 million square feet. The grenades explode on impact. This was in service from 1953 to 1983. Wow. Apparently, it does not power on. This button lied. It does not power on. Looks like a video game, doesn't it? If these machines could talk, they would have a story to tell. Make sure you include the donation at places that let you in for free. US M52A1 105mm self-propelled howitzer. Just kind of parked out here. We'll go look at a couple other things while we're over here. Hallowed soil, entering hallowed ground, hallowed soil from famous Army battle sites. Please show respect. Little Bighorn, Bloody Omaha, Normandy, Gettysburg National Military Park, Battles of Vietnam, Fire Support Base Illingworth, Cambodia, Berlin Wall, Germany, Twin Towers, New York, First Responders, Arlington National Cemetery, Declaration of Independence, Pennsylvania, New York Volunteers and Militia, U.S. Military Academy, West Point, New York. Headquarters, American Division, 101st Airborne Division, 25th Infantry Division, the Vietnam Memorials nationwide, plus samples of dirt from each state in the United States. Duty, country, and honor never forgotten. Proud Americans, 2nd, 32nd Field Artillery Memorial Site. World War II, Vietnam, Cambodia, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Africa. Wow, what a special place. Construction going on over there. And it's super windy. You're probably not able to hear me. Robinson Barracks Artillery Officer Candidate School. This caught my eye. Look how cool he is. First to fire, last to leave. Dusters, quads, searchlights. Air Defense Artillery, Vietnam, 1965, 1972. What a cool memorial. There is so much equipment to look at. It is way too hot for me today. It's like 90 degrees. The equipment. Maybe I'm just a wuss. I don't know. It's like 90 degrees almost. We're gonna go over here and see if we can pet a horse, who's probably a sergeant in the Army. That concludes my look around the Field Artillery Museum at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Let me know in the comments if you've been here. Once again, if you served in the military, I appreciate your service and sacrifice. Thank you so much.